our show. Please give us lots of cheers. Yes? Thank you.
The North Korean army crossed the 38th parallel. Instantly, the Republic of Korea was engulfed in the flames of gunpowder. Seoul was taken in only 3 days, and in less than a month, the North Koreans had reached the defense line of the Nakdong River. Korea's situation was as precarious as a candle flickering in the wind. River bridges were demolished, and the multitudes of refugees had to flee down to the south, with no thoughts other than to escape the onslaught of the North Korean tanks and troops. The procession of people fleeing to survive continued endlessly. The loud wailings of mothers who lost their children. The children calling out to their mothers while holding onto the lifeless bodies of their parents. The starved cries of orphan children left all alone filled the skies. Right after the Korean War broke out, after inspecting the Han River defense line, General MacArthur reported to U.S. President Truman, the U.S. must send its troops without delay. Upon hearing General MacArthur's report, President Truman immediately made the decision to send the U.S. troops. If this decision to send U.S. soldiers had been delayed even 3 more days, the Republic of Korea, as we know it today, could not exist. Following the U.S., soldiers from 22 other UN member countries took part in an effort to bring about peace. The U.S., the U.K., Australia, Canada, the Netherlands, France, New Zealand, the Philippines, the Republic of South Africa, Turkey, Thailand, Greece, Belgium, Luxembourg, Ethiopia, and Colombia all sent troops. And Germany, Sweden, Norway, Italy, Denmark, and India sent medical support units. With the participation of the UN troops, the North Korean soldiers' surprise attack was met with a massive resistance that they could never have imagined. Through the bloodshed by the brave soldiers who cried, "We will defend or die," the Nakdong River defense line was defended to the very last. On September 15, 1950, General MacArthur launched the Incheon landing, which was the turning point of the war. Then suddenly, the Red Chinese Army crossed the Yalu River. The Korean War took on a whole new face. More than 190,000 of the UN troops that participated in the Korean War were sacrificed. It was a war that almost marked the end of Korea. For the first time, the independence and the freedom of a nation was defended under the banner of the UN flag. The brave soldiers of the 22 UN member countries came to a foreign land the name of which they did not know and shed their blood for its freedom. Our freedom was won through the sacrifice of those war heroes. The 3 years of war took everything we had away from us. We lost our children, our parents, our brothers and sisters, and the basis upon which to continue our lives. More than 3 million people were killed or wounded. It was the most violent war, one which left behind it the greatest number of casualties in the shortest time ever in the history of humankind. At a time when we were living in pain and suffering on the ruins wrought by the war, the world perceived Korea only as a nation of poverty, famine, and orphans. However, in the midst of this tragic state, there were angels who appeared and showed the world what we truly were. In May of 1962, in an effort to revitalize the culture and artistic spirit of the Korean people, and to show the rest of the world that tradition and art were still alive in Korea, Reverend Sun Myung Moon created the Little Angels of Korea. Children are the universal symbol of peace. Overcoming difficulties in a country that was still recovering from war, the children opened wide the wings of angels and traveled across the 5 oceans and the 6 continents to introduce the beauty of Korea to billions of people worldwide. After 3 years years of hard work and preparation, the first overseas performance of the Little Angels was carried out before U.S. President Eisenhower. After the first overseas performance at the White House in the U.S. and at Buckingham Palace in the U.K., at the UN General Assembly Hall in New York, which had never been opened for performances, the Little Angels of Korea danced and sang for peace. At the Kremlin Palace of the Soviet Union, crossing over the walls of the Cold War, and singing of freedom at the center of Pyongyang, they crossed the wall between South and North Korea. The Little Angels of Korea finally united the world as one. They have worked for nearly half a century as the dancing and singing angels of peace and the little diplomatic delegates representing friendship and goodwill. The Little Angels of Korea have become the face of Korea and the best gift we can give to the world. Next year, the year 2010, marks the 60th anniversary of the Korean War. The incredible prosperity and affluence of modern-day Korea is a testimony to the sacred sacrifices made by those who fought for its freedom and independence. We have been forgetting about them far too long. We have a long-standing debt to pay to the brave soldiers of the 22 UN member countries that sent troops to the war. Most of them are now approaching 80 years of age, and without them, the Korean War would surely become a forgotten war. The 60th anniversary of the Korean War is the last opportunity for us to repay them with our gratitude for their noble sacrifices. Before it is too late, the Little Angels of Korea will go to those Korean War veterans and sing and dance in front of them to convey to them that their sacrifices had been worthwhile. From June of 2010 to June of 2011, the 22 UN member countries tour. The Little Angels of Korea, in commemoration of the 60th anniversary of the Korean War, will visit the 22 UN member countries to which Korea owes its freedom and peace. The first phase of the world tour was to 9 cities in the U.S., which saw the highest number of casualties during the Korean War, followed by Ottawa, Canada, and Bogota, Colombia. The second was to Europe's France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, as well as Africa's Republic of South Africa and Ethiopia, then back again to the UK, Greece, and Turkey. The third took place in Asia's Thailand, New Zealand, Australia, then through the Philippines, successfully touring 16 of the UN member countries that participated in the war. The concerts took place over 194 days to 16,000 soldiers and their families, presidents and prime ministers from each country, as well as 5,000 state VIPs and members of the diplomatic corps. And to the 100,000 people who attended the concert, the Little Angels put on a show that expressed their gratitude to the citizens of those countries that took part in the war. The fourth phase starting this May 2011, another tour to Germany, Sweden, Norway, and Italy, Denmark, and India. Those countries sending medical support units will take place to express our gratitude. The Little Angels of Korea, who with the Korean flag in their hearts have planted Korea in the rest of the world, will convey our consolation and gratitude through their Korean art performances. The Little Angels of Korea will visit each of the 22 UN member countries and visit the veterans who are still alive and their families to show that Korea is a nation that never forgets the gratitude it owes. whose name they did not know, they gave their youth and their lives. The Republic of Korea will never forget you. And now, the little angels will come to you.